Well, hi there, Leigh. How are you this fine day?
I'm well. I've got a 0% cider, and it is just like, it gives me the same joy as drinking apple juice at 5. I'm just like,
The heat wave rages on.
It does, but let's not think too much about the fact that the world is burning, because that will get existential quickly.
I went on a rant last night for some time. You know, when you catch yourself in a rant and you see how everyone's looking at you in the room and you're like, I've been talking for too long about the privatization of water.
Right.
In the UK and the water companies and the infrastructure and the shareholders. And honestly, Leigh, it was quite something. So, yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you'd been on a run, and I was about to be like, is
Don't do
everything
that.
okay?
I used to run and now I choose not to.
Running is fine in this weather. That's insane. We are not built for running in these conditions.
No. I also just like, there was a time when I really loved to jog and I did a lot of competitive running as a teen. Surprise, surprise.
In your Madonna abs era.
Yeah, she loved sports. She loved to move. And now I'm just a swimming gal. I love to swim. We love a non-impact sport.
Yeah,
my knees and my hips and my ankles are fucked.
I really have lent into being the basic bitch that I am, having discovered reformer Pilates this year.
I think this is the really perfect little friendship moment, actually, dear listeners. I'm going to paint you a little mental picture of Leigh and I. So Leigh does reformer Pilates now, which I think is one of the coolest things, and is so brave as a dyspraxic woman. And she wears like special little grippy socks that are really cute and like baby pink. And goes to a gorgeous studio and does that. I go to a lake which has a fair amount of it's sort of waterfowl shit at the bottom of it that you have to kind of step into as you're going into the lake. And then you just swim in that sort of mildly filthy water, just like naturally filthy, for an extended period of time. And just
what is known as wild swimming.
Yeah. Just with other people who like doing that. We're a motley crew. It's fun. And that's kind of how we choose to move our bodies for our mental health, Leigh and I.
Yeah, at least it's not the Seine in the Olympics.
Oh my God, no,
you know?
no. No, it's very hot on the water quality is very much advertised to us as swimmers.
Fi once tried to talk me into wild swimming, and I had one of the blondest moments that I've ever had, because I was like, well, no, I don't really want to go to Hampstead Heath Ponds because there'll be mice at the bottom.
Mice?
He was like, what, dead mice? And I was like, no, you just know there's going to be like mice at the bottom, because I forgot that mice can't breathe underwater.
And I have to tell you all, Leigh is the smartest person I've ever met.
Aww.
No, you are. But that was one of those moments where I was like, oh, honey. Oh, sweetie. Okay, sit down. But welcome back.
Yeah, we have an inauguration to get to.
We do.
Fiona.
We're so busy. We've got a lot on. Okay, we should dive, therefore, into this episode of Queer Gals Watch the West Wing with episode 15, season 4, Inauguration Part 2. But in its official episode title is Inauguration, over there. In parentheses, part 2.
It's such a multi-part title.
Truly. Also, shout out to Lee Douglas for teaching me the word parentheses, because I was not taught that at school, and it's a really good word.
Were you not taught that at school?
No. They didn't
You
really
just called
teach
it brackets.
Yeah, we just called them brackets. To be honest, they didn't really... I mean, they may have, but I do not recall really being taught grammar in any kind of intent way. Like, Lee taught me how to use a semicolon.
It was one of my proudest moments.
Mm-hmm. I was at university at the time. Anywho, should we dive into the episode recap?
Yes.
Inauguration Part 2. Previously on, we're right back into changes in foreign policy in response to the situation in Kundu, but also a little shout out at the end to Cotton Candy Ass.
We love.
We're 3 days out from the inauguration, and Toby is just furious.
He's really upset.
To use one of my favorite phrases, I would say he's incandescent with rage.
Yeah.
And we open with him and Will Bailey.
Dare I say, before we get into it too much further, one of the best kind of openers we've ever had.
Agreed.
These two sparring with each other. Like, I could have copied out this whole scene until the cut to credits.
Yes. Could not agree more. Well, I finished the language.
How is it?
Bloodless, compromising, and half a loaf.
That's foreign policy.
It's so good because it's very much the like student and the professor moment, right?
100%. I will say that this opening scene feels very, no one gives my actors notes except me, in a really good way. Like when you, Fiona, are trying to stop people from doing my rewrites for me.
Yes. I think it's that thing of being like, I know you're new here and I want you to stick around. So I need you to understand how the system works, which is you have feelings, you have emotions. Of course you do, you're human. You can't necessarily just talk to the president about it. Yeah. And I think it's so interesting to hear Toby say like, look, we're teeing him up for the inauguration. Like he needs to be managed in a particular way and you need to learn how that management works because you don't know. You can't just say things to him.
Yeah. It's the first time I've kind of realized that like being a communications director is kind of a coaching role because like Jed is an athlete. He needs to make sure that he does the like sports psychology for this big speech of Jed being in the right mental headspace.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the same way that like you do that for me when it's press night. You're like, no one is going to give Leigh notes except me right now because she needs to be in the right frame of mind to do this.
And like what someone might think is just like very casual. Actually can like throw someone for a loop in a huge way. So I think Will's like, oh, he just can't, like we were just chatting in my office. And Toby says, the Dow plummets because of casual conversations with this man, but that's not the point.
It's such a great line. It feels like such a valuable learning moment for Will and a really incredible way of like developing this relationship with Toby. And it's also a really clear way of marking Will as an outsider. Yeah. Because he doesn't know like how the game is run yet. Yeah. This is the first big speech he's ever been there for.
But that he's like, by the end of that conversation with Toby, he's like, I'm in. I'm on board.
And then he like hits Toby back with a plot line from either season 1 or season 2 where Toby completely rewrote a speech for Jed based off of something that Toby didn't think they should be compromising on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who told Will this? Did Will like read about this somewhere? Did Sam tell him? What I will say is the music at the end of this conversation was super intense.
Yeah,
they really held out on us before the crash into credits. I felt like I was being edged.
Yes. And I think it's like, I always see Toby as being this like real lone wolf character. Like, it's like Toby's like, well, this is how I feel and everyone's going to disagree because everyone loves to disagree with me. But actually, like, he is the coach. He's just the coach. He's the coach. And like he's teaching another outsider how it is to be a team player. I was kind of like finished like in a real like kind of, oh, captain, my captain moment from Will. I just thought it was really stunning.
Yeah.
We're going to smash out of credits into a press briefing. It's Friday night. We are being updated by CJ on how things are in Kundu and particularly with the number of casualties.
She could easily be talking about Gaza. Like she could so easily be talking about Gaza in this whole scene.
And she's being pushed by the press corps because they're trying to find out if the White House classes what is happening in Kundu as a genocide.
Again, could be 2026.
Yeah, right? And she's providing these 2 different pieces of information about that. And they're like, yeah, but like, what is it? And she's like, well, this is the standing point of this thing. This is the standing point of that thing. So like, it feels like such a politically present storyline.
Yeah.
And then, like, as we were saying last week, it feels so interesting for this conversation to be happening in early 2003 in America on TV. Sadly, we are deep in the statement necklace era for CJ.
We are.
And what we've got here is like brown beads, big brown beads with like a big chunky brown gem.
It's not good. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. I'm also not a fan of Danny, once again, barging his way into CJ's office. Like, knock it off.
And she's like trying to be like, I don't actually have time for you in like a very CJ way. And she's like, good day, sir. And then he like carries on. Then she's like, nobody takes me seriously when I say good day, sir. Which is funny. But also, I will say Danny's really pissing me off because, look, I know it's his job to investigate. And I'm not taking anything from that. However, I will say there's a smugness to it now.
It's the smugness. And it's also like, are we really supposed to believe that every other member of that press corps would feel entitled to barge their way into the press secretary's office? I doubt it. Like, you've just been at the press briefing. That was what she had to say.
Yeah. And I think she said that's a full lid.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's great to have, you know, a senior journalist coming and being like, hey, just FYI, heads up. I've got this on my desk and I'm going to do something about it. I'm giving you a second to spin because you're going to need to spin because I'm going to put this in the paper tomorrow. That feels like how a senior member of the press corps should be behaving. But there's a different energy to it now. There's like a very like, just so you know, because obviously you wouldn't know because I'm smarter than you. There's a smarminess and like a kind of like intellectual ego energy to this.
Patronizing. His whole energy is so patronizing.
Whereas like when they were first like hooking up, it felt like he was like, I'm kind of like this like scruffy, like notebook in my back pocket kind of guy who's just like really fucking good at what I do. And like, we can just be like on the same level. That's gone. He went away for his promotion and he's come back and he's been like, I think I'm kind of better than the White House.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And so I feel like I'd like him to go now. Aside from Danny's attitude, the news that he has isn't good because it feels like, so Miles from last week had the big argument with Leo.
Who we hate.
Go to hell. He's pissed. There are kind of leaks everywhere, essentially. And Danny is getting closer to the Sharif thing than we feared. Like, he's really got his nose to the ground on it at this point. To the boys.
To the boyos.
A notes session we love.
The notes process is everything. Having received notes from like TV commissioners, I am both fascinated and triggered by the like number of groups of people who are able to give like the most detailed notes on this speech.
Yeah. So Josh, Toby, and Will are in an office and they're like, okay, so like this department has notes on this thing. This department has provided us with a statement for this section. This department's just said, could we change the language from this to this? And you can just see like Will's brain being like, but it's my speech.
Yeah.
And I want to do it my way, which is completely understandable. Gorgeous moment of management from Toby. And I honestly couldn't endorse this more. He just says, let's leave the building. What do you say?
Love
that. That is good management.
Yeah.
That is good leadership. We have reached a stalemate in this room. We aren't going to be able to do anything more creative today.
We are at capacity.
We need to touch grass.
Black box brain. We need to see sky.
See sky. We need to breathe air.
Yeah.
Will's like, no, I think I'm just going to go back to my office and work all night.
It's so toxic from Will, but in a really lovable way.
And a nice moment for him and Josh to kind of like see eye to eye on this. Because obviously Josh is like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, it's really intense.
Whatever, nerd.
Yeah, basically the kind of subtext is whatever, nerd. And then as he gets to the doorway, Will turns back and he's like, where does the president's Catholicism distinguish between American blood and other kinds of blood?
It doesn't. The voters do. The voters you champion that I can't stand.
And that, I feel, is incredibly well handled
Agreed. It's actually incredible management from Josh. Like that is a deputy White House chief of staff. Honest, succinct feedback, a little irreverence, a little humorous touch. That's really good management. It also feels like it's Will having the moment that Josh had in season 1 when Josh said, we talk about enemies more than we used to.
Yeah. It's so fun to like kind of see our guys all grown up. And then Will breaks a window.
Listen, no one's perfect.
Look, hey, look. We've all done and said things that we're like, fuck, actually, that was really fucking dramatic. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing. Well, also, like, men breaking things is really embarrassing.
It is really embarrassing. Taking things out on inanimate objects is embarrassing. We don't like it.
Use your words.
Yeah.
Leigh, we're still on this Bible shit. This storyline continues for another episode.
Please give me your Jed.
Charlie, I'm going to change my mind again on the Bible.
Mr. President, you have to imagine my utter surprise.
Aren't you afraid that one day I'm just going to kick your ass like it's never been kicked?
What Bible would you like, sir?
And all this, I'm sorry, and all this from Jed in a little zip-up hoodie.
In a little zip-up Notre Dame zip-up. And he's not even looking up from his briefing papers. That's what makes it for me.
And Charlie just being like, do you know what? What do you need? And I'm going to end up doing it. There's no point fighting you on this. And my instinct is that the Freemasons will not be getting to DC with that Bible because we heard that at the start of yesterday's episode.
And you just know that like Charlie is like giving a little look to the sky for Dolores being like, you'd be losing your shit if you were here.
Yeah. Quite honestly. We get a little kind of touch base from the Danny gossip. So basically Danny was like, oh, by the way, just so you know, like Jed signed this executive order that was basically kind of making it okay to commit the assassination on Sharif. Leo takes Jed to one side and he's like, FYI, Danny Concannon has come to CJ with this. Now, that executive order something was done with that executive order, but it wasn't through you. So, like, CJ can go back to him and truthfully say, no, Jed Bartlet didn't sign that.
He didn't rescind it.
That's the word. And I feel like that's phenomenal chief of staffing from Leo. But it just made me think, it's really interesting to think about that sort of paper trail with reference to the current White House.
I don't know that they care to cover their tracks, Fee.
No, and that in some ways is at least something.
Yeah.
Maybe. Leo feels confident that this Sharif business is going to stay under the radar. But I'm kind of with Jed. Like, I'm kind of just feeling a bit anxious about it all. I'm feeling anxious about Kundu, to be honest, as is Jed. The Chief Justice, too, because he's still rhyming. Please provide us with him. You're withholding him.
Yes.
And at this point, that character must come forward.
But where are we going, Fee? We're going to the residence and we're meeting Abby reposed in a chair. And you had better believe that I freeze-framed to look up the book that she fell asleep reading.
Incredible, tell me.
It's 1,000 Pieces of Gold, which most likely refers to the 1981 biographical novel by Ruth Ann Lum McCunn, and also the acclaimed 1991 film adaptation, which tell the true pioneering story of Lalu Nathoy, a 19th century Chinese immigrant who was sold into slavery and built an independent life in the American West.
That actually sounds like a great read.
It sounds like a great read. It also makes a lot of it's true to brand for me, for the character.
It is honestly a bookshelf choice for Abby.
She loves a biography of a great American woman.
And then she's going to talk about a statue, isn't she?
She's going to talk about a statue, ultimately, yeah.
I personally was obsessed with this little scene between the two of them. Jed wakes up Abby by just like whispering near her, Abby, the kids are eating sugar.
It's such a cute little tease.
She wakes up and she's like, do you know what? Really stunning sleepy acting from Stockard Channing of the bit where you're like, oh, damn, I fell asleep on the couch and I really didn't intend to. And now I kind of have to get ready for bed and I really can't be asked. And Jed is sort of crashing around. And then she turns to him and she goes, who made you crazy?
I love that. Yeah.
I will be taking that. Thank you, Abby. That's so good for like when your friend or your partner or whoever is just like kind of crashing. They're like, you can tell they're uneasy. Who made you crazy? So good. And then they have this like conversation about what's happening and what Jed's grappling with. Entirely, both of them over the top of their reading glasses at
It's
each
incredible.
other.
Yeah, it's so good.
So fun. So fun.
I will also just say that Abby's hair has calmed down significantly since the last time we saw her. The fringe has been addressed.
Yes. It does feel very different. And I think I speak for us all when I say we are relieved.
We're so relieved. Yeah, for sure.
Shall we pop out to a hoppin' club and a woman playing some guitar?
Please, just the guys out for a drink. Obviously, by the guys, I also mean CJ. Just guys grabbing some drinks after work, you know.
Just getting
like...
out there, you know, into DC. I really feel for Jill Sobel in this cameo playing guitar because it does feel like an odd move.
Oh, but maybe is she like a noted musician?
She's a noted musician. She's a bi queen.
Oh, love.
And a couple of her big tracks from like her, I'm not sure which of her albums, but it was like kind of the big success album she had. 2 of them were in Clueless.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, I feel like she was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, frankly. But there we go. I'll play my guitar and be on TV for a few minutes. I always thought that bars would look like this. When I was younger, I was like, and when I go to bars, they will be like this.
And they'll be like a Phoebe Buffay playing a guitar.
Yeah, you know?
It's a pretty bar.
It is. With the little like cabaret tables with the little lamp on them.
Vibey, yeah.
And then this scene, like, again, this is another scene I could have copied out word for word. Just seeing like 3 members of a team digging into like what we're grappling with at work each day and how we're individually feeling about it and how we feel like we collectively need to step forward.
But in like quite an off the cuff way, like not necessarily what you'd bring to the meeting in the Oval, but just like not what you necessarily as the professional thinks, but what you the person thinks.
Yeah.
Which is always really great to get an insight into.
And I feel like it's so lovely because it gives us like more of these characters. Like I feel like I know them more because of this scene.
Yeah. And I love that they're like real friends, not just work friends, that they unwind together. But CJ also absolutely slayed me when she said, stand by while atrocities are taking place and you're an accomplice.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2026, that hits hard as a statement.
Yeah. And I think, you know, discussing a genocide and like what would constitute intervention and 2 Jewish characters like having a moment and being like, well, we would have had a lot more relatives. It's so like...
If someone had stepped in sooner, yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting to kind of see these really powerful people, like you say, doing the 2 different types of communication. We've got the communication that we'll have in the Roosevelt room over a big table, and then the communication here over a couple of whiskeys.
With someone where it's like, it's known and understood that it's a safe space just to kind of like let rip a little bit.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved the choice from Aaron to have that scene.
Yes. And I quite frankly wish that anyone in the current administration was thinking this deeply or was in any way haunted by what's currently going on in the world in the way that we see these characters be.
Yeah. And I'd say the same in UK politics too.
Yeah.
Jed is in the pits, understandably. Now, he's in the residence. He has at least 3 TVs. I think there are more TVs. And at one point, he's like switching channels on all 3 of them. And there's like one that's playing like a spooky old film, one that's playing the news, one that's playing something else. And then like he kind of comes to this like realization, like you can see like him having like a character moment. And I felt concerned and stressed. But back to the bar. And Josh, I feel, has had his first cocktail and is like, where's Donna?
It is her last night with her boyfriend before he is posted abroad. We do not yet know whether the relationship is serious enough for them to stay together to do long distance. It's the last night she has with her boyfriend. She's not going to show up to drinks with you.
No. In the words of Toby Ziegler, leave her alone.
Yeah. Was proud of Toby for that, actually, I have to say.
And it's such a like, it's not fair. It's just a like, leave her alone. Like, what the hell, man? Like, what are we talking about? She's your employee and we're not at work.
This was when I started to be like, oh my God, Donna is going to screw up.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be so upset about Jack Reese.
And like, my first thought was her being like, I'm not coming to the inauguration because you guys got him sent away.
Mm-hmm.
Little did we know.
I thought she was going to like be the person who did the leak.
Which is where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Never good when everyone's pages go off at once.
No.
And CJ's like, Danny's screwed me over and one of our staff has screwed over the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always like, fuck. But I mean, I hate myself for loving the drama, but like, I kind of was like, oh my God, this is really exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we have this fun thing where like, Josh and Toby are like, should we call him Will Bailey?
Well, Will's never been called in the middle of the night by the office of the president. I think he should experience that before he leaves. Which was the moment that I knew that Toby loves Will.
Yeah, and that the hazing continues.
Yeah.
Because then they obviously like let people know that they can contact Will in every way possible.
Mm-hmm.
So he's obviously living in a hotel. So his cell is ringing.
Mm-hmm.
His page is going.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel bedroom phone is going. And they've sent like a bellboy up to knock on the door.
Yes. I also love that Will does need to put on his glasses to answer the phone.
We love the representation of people who need their spectacles so much that not a thing can be done without them.
Yeah.
That's important representation. I think that that's just a really gorgeous, really gorgeous moment. And some really fun physical comedy there.
And we've seen Sam do it. We've seen Josh do it. We've seen them be like, I'm doing physical comedy to scramble out of bed. Yeah. It's lovely to see Will's initiation.
It's a rite of passage. Not CJ with a furious double door slam open Aragorn moment.
I needed CJ's Aragorn moment and I didn't even know it.
Yeah. And she's like, you screwed me over. She's like really like cutting into Danny. It was obviously everything I wanted because I wanted Danny to be taken down a peg. But also I was like, this is hot as hell.
Yeah.
Cut off.
But then I'm really stressed because John was on the phone.
But also when Danny's like, oh no, like, don't be mad at me. It was my researcher. My researcher and my editor went above my head.
It's like, so are you the big man or are you not?
Yeah, and also like, why can't we be mad? Like, could he not have fucked up? It's annoying. It's annoying.
It's annoying that he never fucks up. Everyone else fucks up. Please let him fuck up one time.
So we think that the staff leak is Donna. We're then into the Oval to work out like, because Jed's called everyone in. And like, as we're like just outside of the Oval Office, CJ's like, it's an aide. Like there's a White House aide that's been quoted.
What is the White House aide been quoted as saying?
But then we have to like pause to go and hear Jed's big thing, his big moment, his big like realization thing that he had while he was watching 3 TVs at the same time.
But also like, it's such a great moment of like giving us suspense, but also giving Jed power because it's like this huge thing to every other character in the room, but they just can't bring it to him. They just need to deal with it. So they need to kind of put it aside for a moment because he's too important for them to bring this to him in this moment. Yeah.
And I think this is what we predicted last week. Leigh, you said there's a touch of a let Bartlet be Bartlet energy brewing here. And this is what happens. We're for freedom of speech everywhere. We're for freedom to worship everywhere. We're for freedom to learn for everybody. And because in our time you can build a bomb in your country and bring it to my country, what goes on in your country is very much my business. And so we are for freedom from tyranny everywhere, whether in the guise of political oppression, Toby, or economic slavery, Josh, or religious fanaticism, CJ. That most fundamental idea cannot be met with merely our support. It has to be met with our strength, diplomatically, economically, materially. And if pharaohs still don't free the slaves, then he gets the plagues or my cavalry, whichever gets there first. The USTR will go crazy and say that we're not considering global trade. Committee members will go crazy and say I haven't consulted enough. And the Arab world will just go indiscriminately crazy. No country has ever had a doctrine of intervention when only humanitarian interests were at stake. That streak's going to end Sunday at noon. So if you're on board with this, what I need you to do... And then he doesn't even finish speaking because everyone's just already getting to work.
They are on the phones. immediately, which just goes to show like this is actually where everybody else's brain was at, and they were just waiting for him to hit go.
Yeah, which is exactly what Toby was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lead the horse to water and make it drink. Jed Butler being the horse in question. Like you've got to. He is the president.
Yeah,
which means he will get there, and we just need to be ready when he is.
Yeah, and it's like it's another way of saying I serve at the pleasure of the president. Like
honestly,
it's that moment again, but in physical action.
Yeah, and like, are there a few phrases in that speech from Jed which I feel are perhaps poorly phrased? Yes, but what I do like is like we have a moment where that team who have been kind of pulled in loads of different directions over the week leading up to the inauguration stand in the room with their president and go, that's why you're the president.
Yeah.
And that's why you got 4 more years.
And that's why I voted for you.
Yeah.
And that's why I work for you.
Mm-hmm. But also fascinating in 2003, Feb 2003, you know, no country has ever had a doctrine of intervention when only humanitarian interests were at stake.
It's also, again, just like so relevant in the context of Ukraine, in the context of Congo, in the context of Gaza.
And Yemen as well.
Yeah. There's just, yeah. But should we talk about what the aide said?
Yes. So, by the way, Danny Concannon is, you know, putting out this piece. The aide said, everyone's very loyal to everyone else around here unless you wear a uniform.
Damning. In 2003, damning.
And then Josh is like, no way that Donna said that. There's no way that Donna said that. And CJ's like, no, she did because she called me and said that she had said that. And and I have to give her credit for that. And at this point, I was like, oh my God, Donna's going to get fired.
That was my thinking as well. I was like, we're going to cut to Donna like an absolute
like
mess.
With her little cardboard box, like packing up her desk.
I was like, please don't let this be how Josh and Donna get together. That they can finally actually be together because she gets fired.
Yeah, I would hate that. So the gang go off to kind of get to work. And we linger with Jed and Leo. And just conjecture, Jed and Leo having a little toast. And Jed just has soda water, like a club soda, just ready in his like office in his little drinks cabinet. Yeah. And he pours himself a whiskey and he just pours a little club soda for Leo. And I think that's true friendship, to be like on hand all the time. I have something for us to toast with.
Yeah.
But when they toast, they have this exchange. 10 minutes ago, you promised me you'd go easy on the Moses references.
That was Isaiah.
Still, they frighten people.
Who?
Me.
Well, then here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
I don't know what that means.
Why did I expect Leo to kiss Jed on the forehead? I felt like that was where it was going.
It was quite cute, wasn't it?
Is bow-legged women like an expression?
Like, I don't know.
Or is it just like a piece of whimsy from Aaron Sorkin?
I'm going to actually just Google it. Oh.
What?
It's, well, I think it's from a like bawdy kind of like folk song.
Oh my God, of course it is. Let Bartlett be folksy.
But I think it was used in Jaws, the movie, as like a toast from Quint.
Oh.
But I think it's sort of like, I think it's pretty bawdy. Because I think it's like, you know, their legs are apart.
Oh, like as in Ariana Grande side to side.
I think in many ways it's a nod to sexual relations.
A nod to Jed making women walk from side to side.
Yeah, perhaps.
Back to Inauguration Day, please.
I think there was some communication about like Abby looking great or something, wasn't there?
Yeah. Anyway,
enough of their sex games. Back to Inauguration Day.
Yeah,
so
just
we
are
are
a minor,
here.
just a theme song of the show in the minor key to open the inaugs.
Lovely, very tasteful, very tasteful. We simply must talk about Abby's look in the motorcade on the way to the inauguration. It's possibly one of the best looks in the entire show.
It's incredible. incredible. I would get married in what she is wearing on Inauguration Day, during the day. She's in a double-breasted, like deep chocolate brown knee-length peacoat with a French twist in her hair, a fur muffler, which she has her hands kind of tucked inside, a dusty lip, and then like a knee-high leather boot.
It's an absolute slay. And honestly,
it's like something out of Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah, like a statement big gold earring. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's Elizabeth fucking Taylor.
It is.
It's so classy.
Yes.
It's so classy and classic. And then the leather boot. And then there's just a knee-high leather. I mean, my God. She looks incredible.
Yeah.
And Jed is just furious because he hasn't been allowed to have a parade.
Too cold for a parade, bunch of tanned-ass Southerners.
And she's like, what, because you were so good at dealing with the cold on the commute from your dad's office to like your classroom where he was the headmaster at his school. And he says, that's right, baby, just a camel hair coat, leather gloves, a varsity scarf, and these wits.
It's incredible. And then we go back to the opening scene of the previous episode where we started, but then we take a different turn to Toby that I was so worried about.
Adventure, yeah. We like turn down a different corridor and walk away from a scene that we watched before. Lovely. Very good, Aaron. Very, very good. I will like to kind of bring to some sort of conclusion the Bible issue that's been bubbling on for 2 episodes with kind of like, there was a Bible that was too big. The Freemasons haven't arrived with the Bible that he wanted. He's not allowed the family Bible. And so he says this. Okay, you know what? Washington didn't bring his own Bible. He just assumed one would be provided, which frankly isn't unreasonable. Guy wants you to swear an oath on a Bible. He ought to be packing a Bible.
It's so good.
Which is good. And so Charlie is dispensed to go and get a Bible from
any Bible.
Any Bible. To Toby twitching with a cigarette, thinking whether or not to smoke it in a corridor.
Yeah, I love that the cig is just kind of lingering there. Will has thrown up 3 times.
I feel this deeply. And I think I have been both Toby and Will, like on an opening night where like, you're like, this isn't my show. Like, I'm not up there saying the words.
I just have to watch it happen.
I am now powerless.
Yeah.
To do anything. So like, do I stand outside and smoke a cigarette? Do I dry heave into a toilet? There's both have happened.
CJ, however, is cool, calm and collected in a stiletto, no less.
Looking great. And I feel like seeing this group, I'm like, oh, Sam. And they're like, oh, if like, I just feel like, Leigh, if Sam was ever going to come back, he'd be there for the inauguration. I think he's gone now. I don't think we're going to see him again.
We'll have to have some kind of resolution on what happens in his election.
Yeah, I think we'll be told, but I don't know that we're getting Rob Lowe for a guest episode. I'm just preparing myself for that because I just need to.
Yeah.
And then we're into the inaugural ball. We're robbed. We're robbed not only of the inauguration speech, but also of the Chief Justice.
Of the Chief Justice? What was going on with the rhyming?
Like, we'll never get to the bottom of that. We'll never have this scene where they're like, hey, buddy, you okay?
Was that just a piece of whimsy? I'm confused.
But to the inaugural ball.
Yes.
Can we just discuss Toby?
Who are these beautiful women surrounding Toby? He's surrounded by women.
Surrounded by them.
Yeah. And hey, listen, I've come under heat for trying to say that Josh Lyman isn't actually the heartthrob that he claims to be. I'm very aware that he was set up to be the heartthrob of the administration in a kind of George Stephanopoulos-esque way. But I think Toby Ziegler is the true heartthrob of the Bartlett administration for me.
Yes, because at the end of the day, if you're going to shag, marry, avoid Toby, Sam, and Josh, I think I'm marrying Toby, then maybe divorcing him and remarrying him and then divorcing him and remarrying him. I hate to say it, I think I'm avoiding Josh. I think I'm shagging Sam Seaborn. And that's not because I don't think Josh would be a great Leigh. I think he would. I think he'd be a very fun lover because I think Amy Gardner knows what she's about. And I don't think she would be hanging around for a guy that doesn't know what he's doing.
No, I agree. I think Amy Gardner did some great work with Josh.
Yeah, I think she really laid some foundations. I just think that Sam would be a little freak. That's fun. Answer the question.
I'm obviously marrying Toby. I hate to say it. I think I'm shagging Joshua Lyman.
And
I'm
you're
avoiding Sam Seaborn. There's too much of myself in Sam, I feel.
Yeah, and then you never want to be in that moment where you're making out with someone, then you're like, oh no, this is weird.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. But we get a cute little moment with Leo and Toby. Big news.
Leo has $1 million smile on his face. Clearly the speech that we didn't see went well. And Toby wants Will as his deputy.
A little deputy position for Will and a little promotion for Sam if he doesn't win his election.
Yeah.
And then
Get Danny off my screen. I'm done with him. I'm over him. I want him gone.
This really was the final straw that broke the camel's back, which was Danny Concannon coming up to Josh and being like, hey, sorry about that piece. It's kind of just my editor. And then presenting said piece, like a cutout of it from his own pocket. And look, I know that like that was a piece of dramatic structure that needed to happen, but also it reads as correct. And that makes me feel like the smugness has gone too far.
It's also the fact that it's not the full newspaper that he's just like grabbed and brought with him.
It's just that little...
He has actively spent time nicely cutting out the article from the newspaper.
Which actually is kind of sad.
But Donna, no.
Josh reads the whole quote and it's pretty damning, the whole quote. And we're like, oh, that's like, Donna, that's really bad. And then the more Josh reads it, the more he's like, I don't know that she would say that.
There's so much going on.
Cut to...
We are approaching the flatshare. We are standing on hallowed ground, Fiona. I was so excited for something that did not happen. Because we did not go inside.
No, we didn't. But actually, I love this scene a lot. So this is a really bizarre moment. So a taxi cab pulls up outside the flatshare, and out of said taxi cab is Joshua Lyman, Danny Concannon, Charlie Young, and Toby Ziegler. Already kind of an odd group.
Kind of like the best stag do you've ever been on.
Where you're like, hey, none of us are really like kind of like super close.
We don't really have that much in common.
But here we are.
And it feels like this is doing for the boys what happened for the girls in that scene when Amy, Abby, Donna, and CJ all got drinking wine drunk together.
Yeah.
It's like the stag do equivalent of that hen do.
Josh is like, look, I'm the good cop and you four are the bad cops. And like,
I love Zoe and I must have her back.
But then like Charlie is dropping law about him and Zoe. Like Toby is being a curmudgeon. Poor little Will Bailey has just stood there like, I am a recent addition to this friendship group.
Part of the ship, part of the crew, part of the ship, part of the crew.
Toby at one point barks with laughter.
He laughs. I took a photo of my television with his laughter. Because it's not a crack of a smile. It is a full teeth smile from Toby Ziegler. Because what does Toby Ziegler love? The goss.
He loves the goss.
And I think he cannot get over the fact that he is here for this moment.
Yeah. And like he has Charlie Young on one side being like, I want to try and find a way to break up the president's daughter with the Prince of France. And then he has Josh being like, this is totally about my personal assistant being okay and not at all about the fact that I'm deeply in love with her. And
it's just really important to me that my EA is at the ball.
And then they all throw snowballs at her window.
Which is very kind of Enid Blyton-esque.
It's really like coming of age movie.
Yes.
You know, like where's Reese Witherspoon? Like I'm expecting her to be like one of the other housemates.
It's very one of my favorite films. The much beleaguered Pearl Harbor. in its opening act when Kate Beckinsale and Ben Affleck fall in love over an eye chart.
It never stops being the best, worst movie ever made. Okay.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
Donna has bad hair for her big romantic moment, and I was so upset on her behalf. The curls are bad. The curls would be good if they had been brushed through in any way. But unfortunately,
brush through a little bit of setting spray.
What we have is quite a Shirley Temple moment.
It's rough.
Which is a disservice to how sexy Donna is.
Yeah. When we look back at scenes literally within this episode or the previous episode, I'm like, what have you done?
It's a beautiful gown.
Gorgeous gown.
The hair is a disservice to the gown.
And this will be a running theme. She comes outside and Josh is like, look, I know that like you don't know some of the things that were said.
Jack said it.
Yeah. And then he's like, you took the fall for Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I know that Josh is in too deep. Mm-hmm. I know that like this relationship with him, between him and Donna, is like inappropriate and weird, and like they haven't worked out what it is. But he is right.
He is right.
And I'm with her. Like, look, I know you really like this guy, but you've known him 3 months. Like, and she's like, he's got this great career ahead of him. And he's like, what about your career?
What about your career?
Your relationship with the president? And I actually really, really rate Josh for that moment.
I agree. I completely agree.
Where he's like, oh my God. Also, like, think about what you're saying if you want to be with this person. If he didn't say, don't put yourself down.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, that speaks volumes about Jack Reese, who, hey, I'm here for. I think he was cute. I think he was a fun person to date. But at the end of the day,
he shouldn't have let her do that.
There's a possibility that article came out and she was never hired again.
Yeah.
By anyone in politics. Mm-hmm. Then he's like, let's go to the ball. They stand super close to each other. Mm-hmm. He says, you look amazing. And then the smile she gives.
But it's almost like he cuts himself off mid-sentence to say it.
Yeah, like he's like, oh my God, I actually am so distracted.
I'm only just like seeing you truly in this moment.
And then they're like really close. Everyone's like kind of piling into the taxi and they're just like pause for a moment really close. And she says, I've never lied to you before, boss, and it'll never happen again.
The boss of it all.
Yeah, which actually was really hot.
I know. And that's so toxic.
I know. I hate myself.
Oh, it's like my therapist looking me in the face yesterday and saying, why are all of your major relationships in some way related to your career or field of work? And I was like, please don't come at me this way.
It's hot and I've just come back from work. How dare you? How dare you give me the advice and the reasoning and the perspective that I didn't want and that I pay you for?
Yes. I know, obviously, I should be with somebody with a sensible career of some kind, with normal work boundaries. Obviously, I know that.
I know that. I've known that for years. I'm just saying I keep ignoring the fact that I know that. And Josh, I so thought they were going to kiss. But instead, Josh says, you're going to have to sit on somebody's lap.
What does that mean?
It means that 4 lads came to pick her up and they're in a taxi.
I missed the entire context. I was like,
I feel like to get your job back?
What in the name of an East German cocktail waitress is he talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like Donna sat on Josh's lap on the way back to the inaugural ball.
Yeah. I hope for Donna that Donna went like, lol, hazing of Will Bailey. I'm actually sitting on Will's lap, or anything else.
Or actually, Will, I'm sitting there and you're sitting on my lap.
Yeah.
Which would actually be iconic. Back to the ball. Mm-hmm. And this is another example of a stonking dress. Unbelievably gorgeous. The red dress CJ is wearing is fucking gorgeous. And it is hugging her figure.
And it is completely undone by a shawl in a clashing shade and opposing texture of fabric
to the dress.
It's baffling.
To use a word of yours, a stole.
It's a stole, but a stole is famously cut from the same fabric
material
as the dress.
It's awful. And then
it's verging on pashmina, but in like a taffeta.
It's awful. I beg of you, CJ, put it down. I beg of you. What's also terrible is CJ's hair is actually criminal.
They've taken it in a flicky direction, which was our worst fear.
Honestly awful.
The flicky bob worked on one person and one person only in history. And that is Kate Manning in The L Word. That is it. Nobody else.
Let the record state.
Shane is the only person who has ever pulled it off.
And for so many reasons, you know, like perfection in that awful everywhere else. CJ is having a little like back and forth with Leo about like where Danny is with his investigative journalism. And Leo's like, kind of leave it with me. And she's like, look, the more I know, the more I can help you. And she says this amazing sentence, I'm not your daughter, I'm the White House press secretary.
Which has been coming for a while. And I do feel like she's saying, listen, I'm not concerned about my exposure and you shouldn't be either. I just want to be able to do my job. And it feels like a huge moment for that character. I love where she's at. I would just wish that Danny Concannon would get out of her face. Yeah.
We get pulled off, the group gets pulled off into a room to talk to Jed. And we kind of have a little moment to like toast and enjoy Alec as a gang. And Will Bailey is also there. And Jed says, they're saying I'm rewriting the Constitution on the back of a napkin. They're saying on Fox that a guy who couldn't run a local sheriff's department wants to send troops around the world. They're saying it's liberalism with a grenade launcher. But they're not saying it was badly written. So that's something. And they sure as hell know I was serious. So that's something else. Congratulations, folks. We've got ourselves a doctrine.
It's so camp.
It's great. I love when he's like, thanks, kids. You did good.
But also, we've got ourselves a doctrine. It's like, I don't even know that you get to call it a doctrine. I think that's something that like history calls it. You know what I mean?
We're a little step ahead of ourselves, I think. But that's kind of why we love Jed. I do want to very quickly discuss a small aside between Josh and Donna, who are standing very close to each other.
What did I say about speaking to me without addressing me as Wild Thing? I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
What the hell's going on?
Are you talking about? Did you just have a quickie and we missed it?
Because that's what it's giving. I hate it when they're like this because from time to time they like talk in their own like personal in-joke riddles when they're around other people. And I personally think that's very offensive. Like that's, it's impossible when people are like that.
Yeah.
Then Will gets his promotion.
Yeah.
And Jed's like, he like gets out like this like big thing that he has to sign that's like all official looking like a certificate.
We have all finally learned Will's name.
Yeah. And like as he's like signing it and handing it over, this is honestly, this like made me well up tears in my eyes. There's a promise I ask everyone who works here to make. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. Do you know why?
It's the only thing that ever has.
Welcome to the team, Will.
Welcome to the team.
Oh my God, Leigh, I've literally got goosebumps.
I'm sorry, everyone, but this is a work night.
Yeah, it's like we had this beautiful moment and it's like, let's fucking get to work. Like, I'm scared. I think we're going to war. But hell, am I fired up, Leigh?
Yeah. Now, best fashion, there's absolutely no debate for me. And that is obviously Abby's inauguration day look.
The boots. The boots,
the coat, the muffler, the French twist.
Honestly, incredible. Fashion jail. Donna and CJ's hair, and of course the shawl. The shawl must be burnt, destroyed. What could a British or Irish politician never get away with?
Congratulations, folks. We've got ourselves a doctrine.
That's wild. I am plumbing for the concept of getting inspiration from watching 3 TVs at once, and that not becoming actually some sort of like welfare check moment.
Right, yeah.
What was your queerest moment that never meant to be queer?
I think, the car of boys going to get Donna.
That's what I was plumbing for as well. There wasn't like a clear out and out winner for me.
No.
But I think in terms of like men not being afraid that they love each other, that very much like kind of tumbling into a taxi to like go and like help your friend like tell someone in something important.
Yeah.
Best writerly moment?
The whole opening between Toby and Will, like just that whole thing up until the smash to credits.
Yeah, and it was incredible. Some of Aaron's best work. I would honourable mention, I think, to the going to get Donna bit.
Yeah.
And the snowballs and all of that. And and just Charlie Young. What's your man? I feel like a man.
An unusual entry for me from Charlie Young, just with his commentary, his like slightly tipsy commentary around Zoe, just going, I love Zoe and I must have her back. Not really, but my love for her knows no bounds.
I think so too. And then I would like to throw in, you're going to have to sit on somebody's lap.
I'm so dumb. I can't believe I didn't get that. Fine.
You thought mice lived underwater, Leigh. What was the moment that made you proudest to be an American?
Oh, I couldn't handle it when Jed just went like, it's a shame your father isn't here.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to give you a job.
Yeah. No, yeah. Will Bailey getting his job was definitely for me.
Mm-hmm.
And just the concept of a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens changing the world.
Yeah.
I think that made me proud to be an American.
Mm.
Leigh. Where are we going today for our study sesh?
Well, I'm aware that we've had some kind of heavier study sessions of late, just because about the state of the world, and also the fact that Aaron really isn't afraid to get into some meaty topics. But so today I thought, you know what, this is going to be our one and only opportunity to get into what even is an inauguration. Because I'm aware that there's not really an equivalent other than if you're going to talk about like
a coronation,
which famously only happens when someone dies or wants to marry a divorced American. To George Washington. His first inaugural address was 10 minutes long. He spoke about foreign policy and education. He had an inaugural ball the week after in 1789, which his wife didn't make it in time to, for some reason.
Where was she?
I don't know. It was in New York, apparently. He danced 2 cotillions and minuet with various other women, but he was actually known to, rather than really dance, he walked through dances so as not to risk degrading his presidential dignity by dancing.
George Washington's coming home.
There's no record of what music was played, but one woman later said the ball was the most brilliant of them all. And every woman who attended, I cannot believe this is like it was the mighty hoopla. Every woman present was given a fan prepared in Paris in an ivory frame, which when opened displayed a likeness of George Washington's profile.
That's actually like the most baller thing I've ever heard.
He had merch at his inauguration ball exclusively for the women.
The girls will need a fan, of course. Order 1,000 of them.
From France.
Paris, please.
His second inaugural address was the shortest ever. It was only 135 words and focused on something we might want to think about in 2026, Fiona, which is that it focused on his presidential duties and the consequences that should occur if he were to break his presidential duties.
So interesting.
He said, I am again called upon by the voice of my country to execute the functions of chief magistrate. When the occasion proper for it shall arrive, I shall endeavour to express the high sense I entertain of this distinguished honour and of the confidence which has been reposed in me by the people of the United States of America. There weren't states at that point. By the people of United America. Previous to the execution of any official act of the president, the Constitution requires an oath of office. This oath I am now about to take in your presence. That if I shall be found during my administration of the government, I have in any instance violated willingly or knowingly the injunctions thereof, I may, besides incurring constitutional punishment, be subject to the upbraidings of all who are now witness of the present solemn ceremony. Mic dropped.
You'd think perhaps just like print some flyers and just hand them out now.
Truly. James Madison at his inaugural ball in 1809, the weather was so hot that the patrons apparently broke the windows of Long's Hotel so they could breathe.
That's so dramatic.
It's so dramatic. It's so
Please,
1809
I can't
from
breathe.
them.
It's very
so 1809.
It's very women in corsets being like, if you don't fucking open that window right now, I swear to God, I'm going to pass out.
Tragically, William Henry Harrison, who was actually the last president to be born in the colonies, rather than in the United States of America before it became the United States of America.
Yeah.
At his inaugural address, which was the longest on record at more than 8,000 words and 2.5 hours long, he did not wear a coat despite the cold, got pneumonia and died 30 days later, making his presidency the shortest in history.
Oh, no. Oh, that's so
it's
silly.
It's not funny, but it is funny.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Yeah. In another instance of what I'm going to refer to as silly, silly men, Andrew Jackson, at his inauguration in 1829, he was the first American president who wasn't like born into wealth.
Yeah.
He was notorious for kind of a frontier energy of like, I'm a man of the people. And to prove what a man of the people he was, he opened the doors of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to the crowds of 20,000 supporters who had gathered for his inauguration. And they were especially wound up because it had been a contentious election. And so there were, as someone who lives in the immediate surroundings of the Arsenal Stadium over the last few weeks, I feel I've lived through this personally. But there were men stood on the White House furniture to get a look at Jackson. They were actually pushing each other out of the way to try and shake his hand, resulting in a drunken mob of men fighting, sloshing mud through the White House, breaking china and ripping curtains down. Jackson himself is rumored to have escaped through a window from the drunken brawl. By the end of the night, the crowds had to be lured out of the White House with bowls of whiskey punch and ice cream.
It's all very silly, isn't it? And then he was like, not long after, he was like, let's get loads of cheese.
Yes. Because he is what? A man of the people. But to just a hot girl with tummy issues, James Buchanan, famously the Bachelor president, who is rumored to be potentially a homosexual.
How dare you say that, Leigh? How scandalous of you.
Had an extreme case of diarrhea on his inauguration day.
No, poor baby.
He is also blamed for the Civil War because he didn't take the South seriously. But yes, he had contracted what was known as national hotel disease.
Oh, God.
From staying at a kind of shady establishment, what I hope was a gay sauna of some kind. But unfortunately there, he got a case of dysentery that lingered for quite some time. And he did need a doctor standing nearby during his inauguration ceremony.
Oh, God.
It's dark. It's very dark. Of course, we've spoken before about the fact that Abraham Lincoln's vice president was drunk accidentally at the inauguration. He was recovering from typhoid and nervous, so he'd had a few whiskeys. He wasn't a drinker. He'd also taken medicine because of the aforementioned typhoid, which resulted in him giving a very drunk 17-minute long rambling speech, to which Lincoln was apparently visibly horrified.
Oh, no.
And the former vice president, Hannibal Hamlin, which is a crazy name, had to kind of pull on his coattails to stop him. And then apparently Andrew Johnson gave a drunken kiss to the Bible that was in front of him.
That's amazing.
Lincoln subsequently defended him by saying, Andy ain't a drunkard.
Oh, Andy.
Yes. Ulysses S. Grant, the famous party boy of the presidency. He also had outright brawls at his inauguration because the staff at the coat check, this again is not funny, but it is funny, were illiterate.
Oh, no.
So they couldn't read the claim tickets.
Oh, no. Why didn't anyone think that through?
It's not funny, but it's like so in the thick of it for 1869.
It really is.
And so fights broke out in the line to get people at the end of the night, for people trying to get their coats back. People were like abandoning their coats and hats at the coat check. Tom Bendit, who wrote The Democracy's Big Day, the inauguration of our president, 1789 to 2009, said illiterate workers mixed up everybody's coat claims, leading to fights among the men and tears among the women. At his second inauguration, he accidentally caused mass bird death.
What the fuck?
Because he thought it would be fun, like a fun festive touch, to have canaries at the inaugural ball.
Oh my God, no.
But he didn't anticipate the cold. It was the coldest March day on record to this day, with a wind chill. The day felt like -15 Fahrenheit to -30, or in Celsius, -26 to -34. The musicians weren't able to play their instruments because their breath was freezing. Soldiers marching in the parade had to be treated for frostbite. The inaugural ball was actually this time too cold for people to take their coats off, although they would be understandably skeptical of the coat check from the previous experience anyway.
Yes.
The champagne was freezing, and when the singing canaries were released from the ceiling, 100 frozen dead birds fell on the heads of Hugh Grant's guests. Because they'd frozen to death.
Oh my
the
God.
inauguration.
Oh my God, it's just like a cacophony of fuck ups. Oh my God. Imagine being the event organizer and being like, look, I know the coat check thing was bad, but I've got some ideas. And then just dead birds fall on people.
Oh, what is Ulysses S. Grant? I think it's because he loves the sesh. It's just everything about him is so funny.
He's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, go for it. Let's go on the Canaries. I think this is going to be huge, guys.
As we've also previously mentioned, Woodrow Wilson's inauguration was overshadowed by 5,000 to 8,000 suffragettes arriving in DC to demand the right to vote.
Let's go, girls.
Jim Bendit also wrote about this inauguration. That is a lot of people, given the year we're talking about and the difficulties in transportation. That's a large number of women who showed up.
I enjoy that phrasing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At Herbert Hoover's 1929 inauguration, the Chief Justice who administered the oath, William Howard Taft, garbled it and substituted maintain for protect. And then the most powerful creature on earth, an 8th grade girl, Helen Terwilliger, caught the mistake and sent Taft a note about it. Taft wrote her a letter back insisting that he got the words right. And eventually newsreels had to be consulted to determine who was right. Of course, the 8th grade girl was right, and he had to admit that he was wrong.
That's amazing.
Yeah. After FDR won the presidency for the first time, Herbert Hoover was such a poor loser that in the motorcade, he ignored FDR, trying to make conversation with him, didn't look at him. The inaugural historian, Bendit, said, if you do a search, you'll find the photos. Hoover looks straight ahead in every picture.
Grow up. Grow up.
Grow up. Yeah.
You're a grown man.
Truly. Harry Truman was the first president to have an African-American singer perform at his inaugural ball. In 1949, opera singer Dorothy Maynor, who had been stopped playing in America's opera houses due to her race, sang the spiritual "Were You There When They Crucified My Lord" to Truman and an audience of 5,000.
Wow.
She did a very good job because Eisenhower then subsequently had her sing the Star Spangled Banner at his inauguration.
Oh, big tune.
Mm-hmm. Also, Eisenhower, to date, the only president to be lassoed at their inauguration.
Wow.
During his inaugural parade, January 20th, 1953, a cowboy named Monty Montana rode his horse up to Eisenhower and asked, "With your permission, Mr. President, may I throw a rope around your head?" Eisenhower stood and allowed Monty Montana to lasso him. Montana threw the lasso a stunning 15 feet and onto the president. Eisenhower then removed the lasso. The crowd cheered.
Shit like that just doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't happen anymore. JFK had a lot of celebrities at his inauguration, more than any president had before. He had Frank Sinatra organized him a gala featuring Ella Fitzgerald and Harry Belafonte. But crucially absent was Sammy Davis Jr., who was the only African-American member of Sinatra's Rat Pack. He had been invited to the gala and the inauguration, but JFK rescinded his invite because Sammy Davis Jr. had recently married a white actress named Mae Britt, and it was felt that it would annoy Southern Democrats to have Sammy Davis Jr. there because in many Southern states, interracial marriage was still illegal at the time. In his autobiography, Why Me?, Sammy Davis Jr. reflected on the call that he got from JFK's secretary saying, I felt a torrent of words bubbling up in my throat. No, don't ask me to understand. Don't do this. Don't humiliate me. Don't cut me in half in front of my wife. But I didn't say that. I said, I understand. Thank you for calling. And I did understand. The hatred got noticed and had to be neutralized. I sat down on the bed. But then, feeling ill, I stretched out flat. I could handle it from the idiot on the street who calls me a name. But the President of the United States does it to someone he knows. What hope have the millions of invisible people got?
Well said.
Very well said. In 1969, Vietnam War protesters threw tomatoes and rocks at Nixon during his inaugural parade. He didn't fare much better at his Inauguration Day parade in 1973 because he wanted to make sure, after the tomatoes and the rocks from the previous inauguration, he wanted to make sure that the day went perfectly for his second inaugural parade, and therefore he didn't want the pigeons of Washington, D.C. to ruin everything. So he put poison on the trees around DC, which meant that alive pigeons weren't a problem, but there were dead pigeons everywhere.
It's giving canaries. It's giving mass bird death.
Why must the birds die?
Just leave the birds. Just don't involve the birds. They're not doing anything. It's just a few pigeons. Richard, honestly, you've got bigger issues.
Get a grip. Like, please.
Good God, girl.
What I will say is James Brown performed Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud at Nixon's inaugural ball.
Okay.
He had actually backed Nixon's Democratic opponent, Hubert Humphrey, but he agreed to play Nixon's inaugural gala, explaining later in Jet magazine, I accepted the invitation because I wanted to give our new president a chance to bring the people of this nation together in every respect of our national life. He played a half-an-hour set in what Jet magazine described as a collision between two worlds that had never met before. Every time the little dynamo commanded Say It Loud, a little black cheering section to the left of the stage in the $100 seats jumps to its feet and answered back, I'm black and I'm proud. And pretty soon a few people in the overwhelmingly white audience found themselves caught up in the unique brown brand of musical hysteria.
It's also kind of fun to think, because famously, the man liked drugs. Just to think of the person performing at the inauguration just being high, probably on huge amounts of cocaine.
I mean, Clinton, in terms of musical guests, really outdid everyone. Michael Jackson played at Clinton's first inaugural ball in 1993, as did Elton John. Also, he got Fleetwood Mac to reform to play Don't Stop.
Do you know what? Jeez, that's big.
Because it had been his campaign song. There is a video of him very embarrassingly hitting a tambourine as they perform this.
Oh, no.
Because they dragged him up on stage. It didn't work.
It won't be on the right beat. That's for sure.
Which I think is maybe what we're referencing in the episode, he visited 14 balls to say thank you to everyone who had supported him.
Okay. I'm with you.
And he did drag along Al Gore, his vice president, and they stopped by an inauguration party hosted by MTV, where Al Gore's wife, Tipper Gore, was booed because she had been part of the campaign against violent and sexual rock and rap lyrics. And she is actually the reason behind the fact that CDs have parental advisory explicit content stickers.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun fact.
But of all the acts at Clinton's inaugural ball, he seemed to enjoy most the 10 Sax Funkathon at an outdoor concert hosted by Will Smith.
Yes. And who wouldn't? And who wouldn't enjoy that?
Featuring saxophonist Kenny G. And apparently he just looks thrilled, Clinton does, every time it pans to him in the video coverage of this.
It's described as a funkathon. Please.
Yeah. I think the Bible stuff in this episode might be a reference to George W. Bush because he wanted to use the Masonic Bible used by his dad, George H.W. Bush.
Right.
And had it shipped from New York to D.C. for that purpose at his inauguration, but the bad weather stopped him from being allowed to use it.
Right.
He also had protests at his inauguration because he'd actually lost the popular vote. And then he had the anti-war group Code Pink protesting at his second election. Famously, at Obama's inaugural ball, when he and Michelle had their first dance as president and first lady, Beyonce sang Etta James's At Last, kind of changing the meaning of the song to reflect the sense of progress, hope, and joy that we felt at that time. And she actually finished the song in tears, singing At Last the Skies Are Blue. But there was one person who wasn't happy about this, and that was Etta James.
Was she like, where was my invite?
Yeah, she referred... She told a concert crowd a few weeks later, she referred to Big Ears Obama picking Beyonce to sing her song instead of her, said, I tell you, that woman he had singing for him, singing my song, she's going to get her ass whipped. The great Beyonce, she has no business up there, singing up there on a big old President Day, singing my song.
Do you know what? Pop off, SM.
Yeah, obsessed. Love it, truly. Mm-hmm. However, spare a thought, because, you know, while Obama had Beyonce and Clinton had a Fleetwood Mac and Kenny G and Elton John and Michael Jackson, Trump struggled a little bit more to
get the bookings,
to get the musical acts. He also fired Charlie Brotman, the 89-year-old announcer who had voiced every inauguration since 1957.
Like, why? Like, to what end? I hate stuff like that. It's like, why? Like, for what reason?
Our favorite inaugural historian, Jem Bendit, said, every one of them, party hasn't mattered. He's just a really friendly, gregarious person with a bubbling personality and was just terrific at his job. And he could have been terrific this year. It's really sad and pathetic that Trump would fire him. And according to news reports, Trump had basically replaced him with an announcer who had volunteered for Trump.
Great. Okay, stunning.
He obviously said that his inauguration was going to be a great show. But the only acts that he could book were Three Doors Down, a country singer named Toby Keith, and the runner-up from America's Got Talent, 16-year-old Jackie Evancho, and also a Mormon choir and a DJ called DJ Ravi Drums, who drums while he DJs.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think I don't want that.
Yeah. And I'm not saying there aren't good drummers out there and there aren't good DJs out there in terms of moral fiber. I take exception to the combination of the two.
Yeah.
It's just bringing together truly the worst of what the musical community has to offer, I feel.
I just don't... Look, there are some DJs who I love.
There's some DJs who we love who are really good at what they do. There are few. There are few who are truly good at what they do. There are drummers who we love who are truly good at what they do. There are few who are truly good drummers. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, you know, this runner-up from America's Got Talent and this country singer aren't talented musicians, but they are not Beyonce and they are not Elton John and they are not Fleetwood Mac.
And they're not Lady Gaga.
They're not Lady Gaga and they're certainly not J-Lo.
Yeah. So,
yeah. But one person that did get memeified, the final thing, at Trump's inauguration part 1 was George W. Bush, because it did start raining and the inaugural team had made accommodations for this. Everybody had a rain poncho under their seat at the inauguration. Unfortunately, George W. Bush just couldn't work out how to put his on.
Oh dear.
And he's photographed trying to unfold the poncho, wearing it in many ways, including kind of in blanket form, draping it over his head. Even Dick Cheney at one point tries to help him.
Oh no.
But he just can't work out the rain poncho at all.
That's awful.
Yeah, and inaugural staffers did last minute have to tape over porta potties that had been graffitied with Don's Johns.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
But yeah, so that is presidential inaugurations 101. I hope you had
loved
fun.
that. I did. Thank you. That was exactly what I needed.
Must any more birds die?
Please.
That's all I have to ask.
Let the birds be. Leave them be.
We are Queer Gals Watch, wherever you get your socials. queergalswatch@gmail.com. Queer Gals Watch on Patreon. We really appreciate everyone who supports us there. And we also would just really appreciate you coming back and listening next week.
Yes, because we love doing this and we have a silly old time. And if you folks enjoy it, well, then that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Leigh, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.